Qaeda, Boko Haram, the three evil terror groups. They're ugly, violent, vicious. And now there's disturbing news that the three are teaming up and training together. The terrorists are trained jihadi recruits from the U.S. and Europe at camps in North Africa. And Senator Kelly Ayotte joins us. Good evening, Senator.
Good evening, Greta.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess we should have expected this, but this is a nightmare.
Well, it is. I mean, you know, if this is true and they are collaborating, we're in a situation where people who are civilized individuals and civilized people everywhere, and especially women, this is the trifecta from hell in terms of these terrorist groups joining together. And I think if you look at this, it really shows you that the Obama foreign policy of leading from behind is not working.
Well, I guess the disturbing thing is, I mean, like, who's really surprised by this? I mean, this is not really sort of breaking news because everyone expected this. Because if you look at the growth of ISIS in Syria, in Iraq, and then you've got the troubles in Libya, Tunisia, Boko Haram all over Nigeria, you've got people from Western Europe joining ISIS. I mean, like, what's the big surprise that these, three horrible groups would join up?
It's not shocking, given that all three of them want to cause terror. They're in a situation where if you look at the types of horrific acts that they have committed, all of them want to oppress women. They want to oppress religious minorities. They all have this idea. I mean, I think if you look at what ISIS is trying to do in establishing the Islamic Caliphate, that's and what Boko Haram is doing and Al-Qaeda is trying to do. I mean, it all fits together, unfortunately.
And we've literally run out of Yemen. I mean, Yemen, that the president said was a success for our counterterrorism last September, we literally have fled. What are we going to do now?
We have run out of Yemen, and the government we were trying to cooperate with, Iran, you can thank Iran for helping that, too, with their support for the Houthis.
Who we have outsourced fighting ISIS with in Iraq.
Exactly. And, I think recently General Petraeus identified that he believes that Iran's presence in Iraq is just as much of a problem, if not a longer-term, greater threat to us than ISIS itself.
So what should we be doing? Are you talking to the president, or are you trying to get the president's attention on this? Because this is not getting better.
We're trying to get the president's attention. First of all, what we should be doing this week on the floor, Greta, we have the budget. And if you look at what's happening around the world, the last thing we should be doing is slashing our military and really the sequester. The threats we face, there's a disconnect between that and the resourcing of the military. So in the committee, we've given more resources for defense. That's important, the Budget Committee, because if we don't have the strong military defense, how are we going to be engaged to address these?
Well, just look at the map that we have up there. That's the situation. That red part, that is the map of the world. It is getting worse. And as President Obama sent any plan for ISIS, he asked for the authorization of force a while back. But I mean, this is getting redder.
It's getting redder, and I think that he has to change his strategy. The United States has to be more engaged, has to be a leader, has to support groups like the Kurds that aren't getting all the military support they need, has to lead the Arabs to step up in all of this, has to provide greater support for our military, and in the end, to hold people accountable. We think about what's happening with Iran right now. They are still the largest state sponsor of terrorism around the world, and their actions in Yemen did not help the type of cooperation we were trying to have to get at Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which still presents a grave threat to our country.